Hi, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to do this post because I found that when I was doing some research on my operation that there wasn't a lot of information there for me to make a good decision as to whether I wanted to go ahead and do this surgery. So I thought I would put up my lived experience to help you guys to decide whether or not it's something you want to do. So first of all, what I went in for 2 weeks ago today actually was it's called a tibialis posterior ligament reconstruction, better known as a tib post ligament. And because I was finding it very difficult to walk more than say 30 minutes at a time with a lot of pain and swelling. So I've gone in and had the reconstruction done. It was a big decision. So I wanted to kind of just talk you through what it looks like and what the experience is of going through this. So first of all, I think it's important to note that it is a big commitment to get it done. It is 2 weeks bed rest, and bed rest meaning laying down or sitting in the couch with your foot up at what they call toe to nose. I'll show you what that means actually. If I can turn this around. Nope, can't. That's okay. So essentially your foot or toe needs to be higher than nose level. So when you're sitting up, that's actually quite high, and we'll need 2 to 3 pillows. Some nurses will say you really only need 2 pillows and to be higher than waist height, but my surgeon has specified toe to nose for 2 weeks. So that is 2 weeks in bed, 20 plus hours a day of toe to nose angle to help with healing, to not put too much pressure on the wound, to stop with swelling. And you'll also get these lovely, as you see here, that's my foot. So this is what you'll come out looking like. It's called a back slab. So it's quite hard cast under there and up to all the way up to here. This is all wadding padding on the foot. And you'll also be wearing one of these lovely socks. They've got a fancy name. I don't know if it's a TED sock or if it's some sort of compression sock anyway. Apparently that helps with circulation and to stop blood clots, because that's a risk when you're on such long bed rest. I just wanted to run through a couple of little things that I found helpful. So I was encouraged by a nurse friend of mine to stay as long as I could in the hospital. Usually they try and get you out within 1 night stay, but I actually stayed an extra night just purely because you're on so much medication. They have you on blood thinners, they have you on anti-inflammatories, they have you on different types of painkillers like osteo. I still am on Panadol Osteo, and much stronger ones as well through the night. So they're waking you up all through the night to give you medication. So being at hospital, I think, was really helpful to not have to manage that for the first few nights and to get into a bit of a routine. But also, I think, just to take the pressure off whoever it is that's going to be your carer when you come out. So my husband has been doing all the washing, shopping, cooking, everything, because you literally are stuck in bed and can't help getting the kids to school, all that kind of stuff. So before you go in, you will need to have a chat to somebody about who is prepared to do that care for you, because it is essential, and to have someone to stay pretty much with you day and night, because you cannot walk, you cannot stand. And so you will need to have someone lined up before you go in. So I decided to do the extra night at the hospital, which can help with that too. So the extra care and the extra night is definitely something that I would recommend. Now, just a quick one on the hospital. The medication you will be on will be blood thinners. As I would say, that's what happened to me, once a day, and yeah, they're strong anti-inflammatories, very strong. and various types of painkillers. You will also see a physio while you're there before you are discharged, and that's just to go through a few basic exercises to encourage strength within the left or your leg that you have the surgery on, that you're not going to be using for a while. Some basic exercises just to keep the muscles going, that you'll need to do 3 to 4 times a day. Something that I found really important for me, and it might also impact you, is that I get incredibly sick from anaesthetic, and I was advised to ask for an IV anaesthetic instead, and an anti-nausea at the time of getting the anaesthetic. So my last operation, I was violently ill for 2 to 3 days, couldn't stop the vomiting and the nausea. It was a terrible experience when I just had the gas. So this time the IV was exceptional, and I came out of it feeling amazing, not groggy and not sick at all. So that's something to think about if you do get sick from an anaesthetic, is to ask the anaesthetist about that prior. So the things that I would recommend to purchase beforehand would be, my absolute top thing to purchase would be a scooter. The knee scooter has been an absolute godsend, because the crutches that I also purchased and recommend getting for different reasons, they're really hard to use. They're exhausting, particularly if you're up and back to the toilet. Some people get a urination bottle or a bedpan to have next to the bed, so they don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. That's personal choice. But I found the scooter was amazing when it comes to having to get up for the bathroom, or just get to the kitchen and get something to eat, getting to the door, whatever it was, just to get you out of the bedroom. So I'll show you what that looks like. This is my lovely scooter with the fluffy seat. So my scooter was from eBay. I think it was about $150, which I thought was worth the purchase, because to hire them, they're $35 a week. You'll need it for probably 6 weeks, and it's a minimum of a 2-week hire. So doing the maths, I found this much more cost effective. And it arrived from, so it wasn't eBay, it was Amazon. It arrived within a few days. And I know that they do resell for about $100. So really, you're probably only about $50 out of pocket. There are more expensive brands out there, but I thought it was just for a few weeks. So this one's perfect for me. The other thing that I bought was a really good waterproof stocking cover for your cast. It's actually got like a wetsuit material that goes around the knee, so it slides on the whole leg, and then the wetsuit material hugs your thigh quite closely, so it keeps all the water out for showering, because you will still have to have your foot up for showering. Which then brings me to organising yourself to have a stool or a chair in the shower. Don't do what I did. I did a plastic garden chair, which ended up somehow buckling and snapping while I was in there, and I ended up with some significant injuries or bruising. You don't want that. So something really stable that's like a metal stool or something that's you're able to sit on. And then I actually have the shower door open with my foot up on the scooter, because once again, it's hard to keep your foot at that angle if you don't have something to rest it on. So what else did I get? Oh, okay, a light blanket. You will need some type of light blanket, because something like this is like a really light Angora type blanket. Nothing fancy, but the reason I say to get a light one is because even the smallest amount of pressure going over the top of your toes and foot actually does hurt. Believe it or not, it really does start throbbing if you have any type of pressure on it. So something really light like that is perfect, because you will have to have your foot, well, I found I had to have my foot sticking out from under the doona. So on my pillow, out of the doona, so my toes would get cold because your toes are sticking out at the end of your cast. This is just for the first 2 weeks until you get your cast off. But I found having the blanket over my toes really helpful, because otherwise it's very cold and uncomfortable if you don't have something on them. I also do put on the very end a little bit of a sock or bed sock that just literally flops off the end, just covers my toes because I can't get it over the cast. Yeah, so a light blanket like that would be fantastic. And a variety of pillows. And I say a variety because until you've been there, done that, you don't realise how uncomfortable it can be having your foot rested up on a pillow for 20 plus hours a day. So I'm just going to talk you through a couple of the pillows that I've used. Okay, so I have really experimented with a few different pillows because, as I said, it does get very uncomfortable. This one is actually quite soft, and so you don't get that. The thing we're trying to avoid here is pressure sores. If you have your foot like this constantly on a hard pillow, you're going to get a pressure sore under the back of your ankle, and that if that happens within the first week, you're really going to struggle for 2 weeks of having a pressure sore while having to put your foot up. So I've got, this is a softer one, and then I've also got a memory foam one, which is a little bit more solid, and then a smaller, thinner one, because if I feel that I need a little bit of extra height, I just add that either on top or underneath. Now, I was given some great advice early on from the nurse who told me to avoid pressure sores. You want to do a variety of foot like this on, please ignore that, that is not blood, that's my daughter drawing on me. A variety of your foot like this, supported from the knee down, and then also like this, where your foot is hanging over the edge. That way you're giving your foot or your ankle, your heel underneath a little bit of a rest from having pressure on it, which causes the pressure sores if you don't rotate like that. So a variety of different pillows to get some height and different softness, and moving your pillow different angles to avoid the pressure sores. Something else that I found has been a great purchase, and once again, excuse the mess that will happen when you're stuck in your room. This bed desk has been absolutely amazing. So I've been able to continue to do my work. It sits over the top of my lap. It can angle up and down. It can change the height. I'll just give a little demo. It's a bit difficult when I'm one-legged and one-handed. You can see that it does go up and down, and you can change the height of it, the angle of it, sorry, so it can go around your leg. That does have to be up quite an angle, and the actual foot, the feet of it, can extend as well. So that has been fantastic, because even though you're meant to take 2 to 3 weeks off work, I've actually been able to go back a little bit sooner because I've been able to work in bed in my job doing this. So another thing I talked already about, seeing if a partner or friend or family member can look after you for the first couple of weeks. Just to take the pressure off, I suppose I organised a few meals. So I cooked a few meals before I went into hospital. It just helped to take the pressure off, because one person will be doing everything and possibly working from home as well. My husband's working from home for 2 to 3 weeks, so he can do the school runs and do all of the home duty things that I would normally do. So I just found that has been really helpful to be able to pull meals out of the freezer, and one less job to think about. A couple of last bits that I have found really helpful and thought I would share with you is probably want a few treats for the hospital, just taking some chocolates and lollies and magazines. But most importantly, what you want to pack is, they say loose clothing, but in fact, you can't get trousers or tracksuit pants over the top of your cast. Well, I can't. It's so bulky with the back slab and the padding. So I've had to wear shorts and maxi skirts or dresses. So for a guy, shorts or maybe wide leg tracksuit pants from the shops might be worth trying to buy. Because it really, getting any type of long pant over the top of the cast is near impossible. So that's something to think about buying as well. I suppose just another little thing to consider is maybe getting a free 1 month trial from Netflix or Stan or something, because you will be spending a lot of time in bed, and if you're not working, then that would be the best thing to do, is to just chill and watch some TV, see if you can get some friends to come around and visit. May bring a coffee with them. I've had a few beautiful friends that have brought treats and coffees. And, it's a good time to catch up on things, like I did my BAS, for example. So after the fact, I went privately, so there was a significant out-of-pocket cost. One little trick that I did learn, this is obviously Australia-based, so it's a Medicare. You can do what's called a two-way claim. So you put your claim in with Medicare, and if you've got private health, you can claim at the same time. I was not told this, but you can actually, you need to fill out a two-way form while you're filling out all the doctor's details and the rebate that you're after. That needs to be submitted by photograph at the same time to actually do the two-way form. So that's really helpful. A lot of medications can be claimed on private health insurance if it's over this year. It needs to be, in 2023, it needs to be anything above $30 per medication you get the gap back from. I'm in the middle of finding out whether I can claim my scooter and things like that too. So they're things that I can report back on. But I am off to see my surgeon tomorrow, and the cast is coming off because I'm 2 weeks today, bed rest. And apparently I'm going to be going into what they call a cam walker, which is a moon boot essentially. I'm yet to find out the exact details of it, so I will check back in after that. But that's going to be another 4 weeks of no weight bearing and needing to use the scooter and crutches. So it's 2 weeks bed rest, 20 hours of the day minimum, with your foot up at nose level, and then 4 weeks non-weight bearing with movement. You can move around, but with crutches and scooter again. I'm also yet to find out, apparently I can potentially drive at week 2 or 3 if my wound is healing well and I don't have a lot of pain. So I'll check back in about that too. But for now, that's probably all the information that I can give you. Good luck. I hope I've helped you make your decision, and check in for my update from week 2 onwards. Thanks. Bye.